we're going to open the tutorial in Spyder. So you can click the little folder up here and then navigate to wherever you saved it. And open this up. You can go through this, it's all commented, but we're going to go through it slowly. In Spyder, you have your files you're editing here, and then you have kind of your playground over here. So this is kind of a Python sandbox. So we can write Python in here, just kind of test it out. So first we're going to go over variables. Variables are just like math class. We're setting some value, and we're assigning it to a letter or word or phrase or something. So there's a bunch of different types of variables. The first one is an int. So we can set it like that, and then access it like that. And look at the type like that, so we can see it's an integer. An integer is any whole number, so 0, 1, 10, negative 20. If you want it to be a decimal place, you can say this. That's called a floating point. You also do booleans. And that has to be capitalized for the true and false. We can do strings. We can do lists as well. Oh, and one thing on strings is that this can be either single quotation mark, the apostrophe, or a normal quotation mark, and they both work. We can do lists, and then call it the whole list, or just the first element of the list, or the third element of the list. We can change elements of the list by doing this, and we can add things to the end like this. So now that you've worked with that, go through these guys right here and try these out for yourself in the browser. Okay, once you've done that, we're going to move on to doing basic math. In Python 2.7, if you divide two integers by each other, the output will automatically be an integer. It says since integers have to be whole numbers, that can be troublesome. So if we do 1 divided by 2, we expect it to be half, but it's actually going to turn out 0. To prevent this, you can either make one of the values a float, like that, or you can do this, divided by float 2. That'll work. That way is not recommended, but it works. You can do exponent operators, so instead of doing this for 2 squared, you would write this, and you can do like that, whatever. Modulus gives you the remainder, so if we do 5 divided by 4, we expect remainder 1. If we do modulus as a percent sign, we get that. Like so. To do more advanced math, we have to import things, so we can type import math, and math is a built-in Python library. And then we can access various math functions. So for instance, we can say print math.py. It'll print pi for us. We can call cosine of math.py, and it'll spit that out for us. Okay, on to more advanced stuff. Loops and statements. You can test conditional statements. So we can say if, so we have a is 5 now, if a is greater than 0, print a is larger than 0. So it is larger than 0, so it's going to print that. You notice that we have this statement here, and then have a colon. Once we have a colon, it means we're going to have an indent. Formatting in Python is all done with indents and colons. So we're going to have an indent, and then everything in this indent is going to be a block of code that belongs to this if statement. So it's only going to happen if we have this if statement here. Loops, so there's two types of loops, for loops and while loops. A for loop is used to have a changing variable that'll change but run the same block of code, and it's the same. A for loop is used when you know the amount of times you want to loop, whereas a while loop is used when you don't know the amount of times you want to loop. So for instance, we can say for I in range 10. This is going to, so range 10 is an iterator that's going to change from 0 to 9, upgrading by, or increasing by 1 each time, and it's going to set I to that, whatever the range is outputting. So we can print I. And so it's just going to loop through and print it each time. We can combine statements and loops, so we can say for I in range 10, if I is greater than 5, print greater than 5. Oops. So this needs to have a quotation on it. Else if, man, it doesn't like doing automatic syntaxing for me. Okay. Else if, oh, right, I need a statement here. I equals 5, print I is 5, else print I is less than 5. So there you go. While loops are used to make a loop of an indeterminate length before you start. So let's say we have while, let's say I equals 0, should we set that and say while I is less than 10. Wait, nope, we're going to say while I is less than 128. I equals I times 2. So we're going to multiplying it by 2 every time. Then we will print I. And we can do that. So it's going to iterate through this times thing, this little block here, while I is less than that. So it should be, oops. Oh, it's grumpy. I broke it. Okay, so the reason that broke is because we set I to 0, so just multiplying I by 0, so it's always going to be less than 0, or always less than 128. So that's a problem with while loops, is that they can go forever, or a benefit of while loops if you want them to go forever. So to fix this, we have to set I equals 2, and then we can do the same thing. Like so. And now you should try doing these things in the browser. Okay, functions and methods. We can define functions that we can call that'll do specific tasks. So we can make the classic hello world example. We can type def, say hello, print hello world, and then call that function like this, and it'll do everything in the function. We can make more complex functions. We can make one that'll do addition for us. So what this is doing is we have, we're saying define a function. This is the function name, and these are the variables we're passing into our function. And then we're going to return these two values put together. So when we call this function, then we can say addition of 2, 2, and it'll say 4. You can also say something like z equals addition of 2, 2, and then it'll set z to the return value of our function. Now you should try and do these 3 things. And with that, I think you know enough to take on the Python game, so I'll see you in the next video.